जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय जशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। जशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। जशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। जशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीर वनचारे। जय यमुना तीर वनचारे। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Krishna Chandra, Radhe. Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakacharya Ashtotra Shadashi Srimad Divine Grace Abhay Charan Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakacharya Ashtotra Shadashi Srimad Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshvabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtikim. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 20th chapter, text number 18. Sasarchachaya vidyam panchaparvanamagrataha tamishram mandatamishram tamo moho mahatamaha Sasarchachaya vidyam panchaparvanamagrataha tamishram mandatamishram tamo moho mahatamaha Sasarchachaya vidyam panchaparvanamagrataha tamishram mandatamishram tamo moho mahatamaha Word to word meaning. Sasarja, created. Chayaya, with his shadow. Avidyam, ignorance. Panchaparvanam, 5 varieties. Agrataha, first of all. Tamishram, Andat Tamishram, Andatamishra, Tamaha, Tamas, Mohaha, Moha, Mahatamaha, Mahatamas or Mahamoha. Off this light, light बंद करो ना, इसको क्यों ऑन करते हो? ये लाइट ऑफ करो भैया, ऑलरेडी जो है. Translation. First of all, Brahma created from his shadow the coverings of ignorance of the conditioned souls. They are 5 in number and are called Tamishra, Andatamishra, Tamas, Moha and Mahamoha. Please repeat the translation. First of all, Brahma created from his shadow the coverings of ignorance of the conditioned souls. They are 5 in number and are called Tamishra, Andatamishra, Tamas, Moha and Mahamoha. Purport. The conditioned souls or living entities who come to the material world to enjoy sense gratification are covered in the beginning by 5 different conditions. The first condition is a covering of tamishra or anger. Constitutionally, each and every living entity has minute independence. It is misuse of that minute independence for the conditioned soul to think that he can also enjoy like the Supreme Lord, or to think, why shall I not be a free enjoyer like the Supreme Lord? This forgetfulness of his constitutional position is due to anger or envy. The living entity, being eternally a part and parcel servitor of the Supreme Lord, can never by constitution be an equal enjoyer with the Lord. When he forgets this, however, and tries to be one with him, his condition is called tamishra. Even in the field of spiritual realization, this tamishra mentality of the living entity is hard to overcome. In trying to get out of the entanglement of material life, there are many who want to be one with the Supreme Lord. ये लाइट डिस्टर्ब कर रहा है भाई, ये फैन. In trying to get out of the entanglement of material life, there are many who want to be one with the Supreme. Even in their transcendental activities, this lower grade mentality of tamishra continues. Andha tamishra involves considering death to be the ultimate end. The atheists generally think that the body is the self and that everything is therefore ended with the end of the body. Thus, they want to enjoy material life as far as possible during the existence of the body. Their theory is, as long as you live, you should live prosperously. Never mind whether you commit all kinds of so-called sins. You must eat sumptuously, beg, borrow and steal. And if you think that by stealing and borrowing you are being entangled in sinful activities for which you will have to pay, then just forget that misconception, because after death everything is finished. No one is responsible for anything he does during his life. This atheistic conception of life is killing human civilization, for it is without knowledge of the continuation of eternal life. This andha tamishra ignorance is due to tamas. The condition of not knowing anything about the spirit soul is called tamas. This material world is also generally called tamas because 99% of its living entities are ignorant of their identity as soul. Almost everyone is thinking that he is this body. He has no information of the spirit soul. Guided by this misconception, one always thinks, this is my body and anything in relationship with this body is mine. For such misguided living entities, sex life is the background of material existence. Actually, the conditioned souls in ignorance in this material world are simply guided by sex life, and as soon as they get the opportunity for sex life, they become attached to so-called home, motherland, children, wealth, and opulence. As these attachments increase, moha or the illusion of the bodily concept of life also increases. Thus, the idea that I am this body and everything belonging to this body is mine also increases. And as the whole world is put into moha, sectarian societies, families and nationalities are created and they fight with one another. Maha moha means to be mad after material enjoyment. Especially in this age of Kali, everyone is overwhelmed by the madness to accumulate paraphernalia for material enjoyment. These definitions are very nicely given in Vishnu Purana, where it is said, Tamo aviveka mohasya antakarana vibramaha mahamohastu vigneyo gramya bhoga sukhaisana maranam yanda tamishram krodha huchyate avidya panchaparvesha pradurbhuta mahatmanaha. The sense of Bhaktivedanta purport. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने. नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Chandra Shri Shri Nitaya Gauranga. ससर्च छाया अविद्याम पंचपर्वाणम अग्रतः तामिश्रम मंदतामिश्रम तमो मोहो महातमः. First of all, Brahma created from his shadow the coverings of ignorance of the condition. ए फैन क्या हुआ भाई? ऑफ करो ना, वो लाइट बार बार हो रहा है. First of all, Brahma created from his shadow the coverings of ignorance of the conditioned soul. There are 5 in number and are called Tamishra, Andha Tamishra, Tamas, Moha and Maha Moha. So, Lord Brahma, who is creating this material universe, has to accommodate people of material nature. Sometimes ignorant people ask this question: if ultimately God wanted pure devotion, if ultimately God wanted that every living entity serve Him, then why did God create this universe? If Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Raja, that is the desire of the Lord. So if that is the desire of the Lord, then why is the Lord Himself allowing the living entities to take up material life? Yes. Living entities relationship with the Supreme Lord is not on the platform of force. Relationship with the Supreme Lord is on the basis of voluntarily accepting the superiority, accepting the topmost position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, when something is voluntary, it cannot be forced. One must choose to do it on his own willing. You cannot force somebody to accept. So, the mood of Vaikuntha is of voluntary submission. One voluntarily submits oneself to the Lord. He accepts. Just like how Arjuna accepted Krishna, Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavam Paritram, Paramam Bhavan. So, Arjuna is voluntarily accepting. After hearing the words of Krishna, Arjuna is accepting the Lord as Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Param Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan. You are the Supreme Lord, your abode is the Supreme. You are the Supreme Brahman. He is voluntarily accepting that. This is the mood of Vaikuntha. So when somebody is not in that mood, then he becomes ineligible to live in that environment. But the Lord is merciful. That okay, if you cannot live here, you can live there. If you have to live in Vaikuntha, this is the behavior that is expected out of you. That you will voluntarily submit and accept the supremacy, surrender, and be in loving, submissive relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the Vaikuntha mood. That is the expected behavior from every Vaikunthavasi. But the Lord understands that not everybody can be in that state of existence. So the Lord has established another world where such people can be accommodated. And the Lord has chosen Brahma to create that alternative world, so that living entities whose nature and mentality is different can be accommodated there. It is not very difficult to understand this principle. In this material world also, we have various activities and various activities catering to different segments of society. Just like somebody wants to eat, now there are many options of what to eat, where to eat. Many options are there. Right? From the most mouth-watering foodstuffs, different kinds of delicacies are there. Various delicacies are there. And there are various places also for eating. Somebody can eat most delicious foods, different types of delicacies. And some people can eat the most basic of foods. And in this world you can see some people can afford the most tastiest gourmet, very, very special items. But some people cannot even afford to get little rice and dal. There are mangoes which are sold for 1 lakh rupees per kg. People are eating them. People who can afford, they are buying mango and eating. 1 lakh rupee mango per kg mango they are eating. Some people are going to restaurants and eating gold also. On the coffee top, on the juice or on the milk, they are putting a layer of coffee or layer of gold, one small layer of people. People are there who can afford that kind of thing. You can see in this material world, some people, how they are struggling to get one square meal also. Little, just rice dal. Forget sabji, even rice dal they are not able to get. You can see how we have all seen at some point of a time people. I have seen one day, I was traveling in a bus somewhere and I saw one man, he is eating from the dustbin. And some people can go to 5-star hotels, 7-star hotels for just small dinner. They can spend lakhs of rupees. So you can see there are different varieties of segments of people. Varieties and different types of people. The world accommodates all of them. Okay, you can afford this, you can go here. You can afford this, you can go there. You cannot afford this, then this will be your what it is. As living entities, we are direct amshas of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord is Vaikuntapati. We have a place there in Vaikunta. Why don't we need to ask this question? Why do I need to suffer in this very dirty place? Why should I suffer these miserable conditions of life when I can be happily living in association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, free from all inebrities of this material world? I can actually be there in the Lord's abode. Provided I give up this false sense of proprietorship, provided I give up this false idea of Ishvara Bhava, provided I give up this false ego, provided I give up this sense of sense gratification, this idea of entitlement. This idea of independent enjoyer. Any of these things, false ego, false lording over tendency, sense gratification, all these are under these categories. Tamishram, Andatamishram, Tamo, Moha, Mahatamaha. These kind of tendencies come under these category. And when it comes under this category, we have no place in the Lord's abode. We cannot exist there. It doesn't go together, it doesn't mix at all. It cannot mix. It's as soon as you put a drop into that, it will just stand out. You cannot exist there. In that environment, it cannot exist. So, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, if it cannot exist there, then there has to be a space that needs to be created for those things to exist. That's why Krishna is asking. Krishna has delegated this job to Lord Brahma to create a place where these kind of entities can exist. A correction center. A correction center where people who have developed these kind of habits needs to be corrected. A rehabilitation center, a de-addiction center. Living entities become addicted, habituated. They need to be corrected. And they will be corrected by the Prakriti, by the modes of material nature. Whether it is difficult, whether it is tough, yes, it is tough. Modes of nature is very, very hard. Kala doesn't have any karuna. Kala will just go by, okay, this is the point of time, tuck. Heart attack will come, something will come, and he will attack you. Mrityu sarva harascha. It snatches away everything from you. All gains, so-called gains that you falsely think you have made, everything is snatched away by the force of time. Whereas in Vaikuntha, Prabhupada says, Vaikuntha is known by the absence of Kala. Kala cannot determine what happens to you. It has no power over you. So we need to qualify ourselves. We need to make ourselves qualified to enter that realm. That realm of Vaikuntha, we need to make ourselves qualified. We need to give up these lower modes of Tamishram, Andatamishram, Tamo, Moha, Mahatamaha. We need to transcend beyond these lower modes of material nature. And the path of bhakti, the path of Krishna consciousness is the way forward. The way forward to reach our destination where the influence of time is absent is to practice Krishna consciousness seriously. That's what Srimad Bhagavatam is trying to tell. Tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. That if somebody takes up devotional practice with great determination, then he can situate himself in the highest platform. Yajeta purusham param. He can make himself situated in the highest plane possible by a living entity. Simply practicing seriously the spiritual principles, the Krishna conscious principles as given by our acharyas. If we practice those principles, then we can go beyond these lower modes of material nature. That is why Srila Prabhupada says, our temples are Vaikunthas. Our temples are Vaikunthas. Because in our temple, the mood, Prabhupada says, the mood should be that we are not the doer, we are not the proprietor. The Lord is the proprietor, Krishna is the doer. We are all servants of Krishna. We address each other as Prabhu. You are the master, I am the servant. Dasa dasosmi. These are the principles. Now, we need to think to ourselves. These are the principles. I being part of this temple, how much I am actually following these principles. To what degree I am practicing these principles. Your Vaikuntha Anubhava, your Vaikuntha experience depends on the degree to which you can practice all these principles. If you practice, you will experience the Vaikuntha. If you engage in the mood of service, if you engage in the mood of servitude, in the mood of a servant, not in the mood of lording over people, lording over materials. If that is the mood, you will be bound by material nature. You will get resistance. They will resist you. Other devotees will think, oh, he is trying to lord me over. Now, to overcome our lording tendency, one must strictly follow the principles of Krishna consciousness. Starting from serious sadhana, starting from regular shravanam, from regularly hearing Krishna Katha, attraction for Krishna Katha, keeping the deities in the center of our heart. These are all methods for us to develop that pure consciousness. And that is the essence of Krishna consciousness. Living as Krishna conscious practitioners, our approach is that how I can maintain myself in this mood. How I can keep myself in this mood always. Prabhupada says, one must 24 hours remember, chant Krishna's name. Then only he can be in this consciousness. While eating, while sleeping, any activity that we are doing, we are always thinking of Krishna. Any other way, any other method is a distraction. We have seen in the Srimad Bhagavatam itself, various examples are provided. Bharat Maharaj, saintly person, saintly king. Somehow one small deer came in his way. He became so attached to that deer. And subsequently in his next life, he had to take the body of a deer. Ajamila, born nice Brahmana, but suddenly saw some unwanted thing. Oh, life got distracted. So many examples like this, so many examples. So, as devotees, we are doing service, we come in the mood of engagement, nobody joins the temple, nobody takes up Krishna consciousness to, he has understood sufficiently about Krishna's abode, he has understood Vaikuntha nature. That is how he is taking up Krishna consciousness. But while in the process of practicing Krishna consciousness, because of our past habits, he can get swayed. He can get swayed. We are serving, suddenly something comes. Suddenly some envy, suddenly some jealousy, suddenly something, I also want to be an enjoyer. Some puja, pratishtha, labha I want from that. Or gratification of senses. So a devotee becomes victim. Unwillingly he becomes a victim. It is not that he willingly does that, but circumstances make him do such kind of things. But Srila Prabhupada assures us that if somebody practices Krishna consciousness seriously, then he can sustain, he can withstand these kind of influences. He can withstand this kind of influences. So if you are not able to withstand, understand that you are not seriously practicing Krishna consciousness. As simple as that. If you are not able to withstand, immediately make efforts to take up and practice Krishna consciousness more seriously. More and more and more and more effort is required. In this material world, somebody fails. You see, people are taking exams to become IAS or IPS officers. They are taking up exams to get here, there. So many things they are making. They are failing. Again they are making. Next time I will read more. Next time I will practice more. Next time I will do like this, like this, like this. Keep on making efforts. But we know as Krishna conscious practitioners, even if you become IAS, even if you become IPS, what is the use? Kala, the force of nature will take away everything from me. All my achievements will be zero in a very few years, in just next few years. So why should I not put all my efforts, all my strength into taking and practicing Krishna consciousness? And even if I fail, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Svalpadharmasya, we have the faith that whatever attempts I made, that will not become null and void. Whereas in the material world, all efforts done in anything becomes null and void. Whereas Krishna conscious attempts are not null and void. You start from that point where you left off. You have an advantage. Just like in a running race. All people start from the same point and they have an end to reach. When the gun is fired, everybody starts running. Just imagine, Krishna will give you an advantage in running race, wherein if you have practiced in the running race of Krishna consciousness, supposing you have achieved 50 meters, then Krishna will say, you will start from the front 50 meters point, that will be your starting point. What a big advantage it is. You have moved ahead of the race. Nobody can say, hey, why is this partiality for you? No. Krishna says, no, in the past he has already run 50 meters, so I am making him stand there. This is the benefit of practicing Krishna consciousness. So we must seriously work on our Krishna conscious practice. Seriously work on our practice. This tamishram, andatamishram, tamo moha mahatamaha, lot of examples in the Srimad Bhagavatam is there about characters who exemplified these qualities. Just now we read about Hiranyaksha. He was all, he was Andatamishram, Tamo, Moha, Mahatama, all these kind of characters they were. Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Shishupala, Jarasandha, they all exemplified these kind of lower modes of material nature. Anger, envy. They were defined by these lower modes. Kamsa, Putana, Trinavarta, all different asuras, they all represented these different lower modes of material nature. And we can see, they were all powerful achievers, but all their achievements were meaningless, completely destroyed. Ravana, driven by lust, he tried to capture the goddess of fortune, Sita. What more foolishness can one jump into? They told, hey, what are you doing? Your lust for a woman is giving you all wrong intelligence. And this intelligence, this false intelligence is going to destroy you. He was advised. No, I will not take this advice. I will run after this falseness. And ultimately that became the cause for his destruction. Duryodhana, same type of thinking. So much of greed he had and contempt. Not willing to take any good advice. Rather, anybody comes to give good advice, he used to become more angry. Just the way he insulted Vidura. Devotees, we are reading, when we read all these aspects of Srimad Bhagavatam, our intelligence, our determination to take up and practice Krishna consciousness becomes more serious. That's why Srimad Bhagavatam itself says, Shranvatam Svata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. We should repeatedly hear Shrinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. Hearing of Lord Krishna's Katha is Punya Shravana. And what it does is Ridantasto Yabhadrani Vidunoti Surutsatam. It completely vanquishes all dirty things hidden deeply within our heart and situates ourselves at the highest mode of goodness. So, Prabhupada in this purport has given various aspects of how living entities covered by these 5 different conditions of Tamishra, Andatamishra, Tamas, Moha and Mahomaya are covered and how they act. Whereas Krishna conscious practitioner, by practicing Krishna consciousness, we can keep ourselves sanitized so that we don't become infected by these lower modes of material nature. We will stop here if there is any question, comments. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.